Welcome, everyone. Some of you are new. Glad to have you. And what a great time to come in the High Holy Days, in the Yamim Noraim, the days of awe. Very reflective time. So it's a great time to add some meditation or to start some meditation. I like to honor the early stewards and ancestors of this ancestral land. I'm in Redwood City, California, but the land's earliest inhabitants that we know of were the Lamchin tribelet of the Ramaytush people who are part of the Ohlone Costanoan language group. And if you are new and I don't know you, just to be part of the community, if you want to, anybody actually can put into the chat your name and where you're from. I probably won't look at it till later, but then I'll have a chance, or we'll open this up for the Zoom and we'll be able to talk a bit more. So welcome to everybody on the live stream as well, and those of you who watch this as recordings. Today, the meditation is for the Yamim Noraim, so the days of awe. We are in between Rosh Hashana and Yom Kippur, called the days of awe so that we feel the awe. And in Hebrew, the term for awe is yirah, and it also means fear. So we feel we're supposed to be feeling that closeness to that unity that many name God, that how close can we get? And then we go all the way up to Yom Kippur afternoon, where we're supposed to feel it the closest. So we're in that journey of feeling our connection, which can be beautiful and can also be scary, because we're in this time of judgment. We're in the time of judging ourselves. We're in the time of being judged by whatever you want to think of that oneness, if you think of it as God, or judged, in a broader stream. We're judging ourselves, and we're trying to do that teshuva work, return to being our best self. And the only way that we can do that is to see where we missed the mark, where we were not our best self, the places where we were less than skillful. And so those two go hand in hand. And if you're doing this work, it can be a very vulnerable time. And so we want to also have some compassion for ourselves as we do this. And just going to close the live stream. So I wasn't looking at it. It was distracting. And one way to do that is to connect with that YHVH, the sense of oneness, beingness, through the breath. And so today we'll be doing a breath meditation, which may feel familiar because we've done it here before. We'll have an intention to really feel the sense of that oneness, Yah, God, the ground of being in the breath. It is the early part of Genesis, after human beings are made. It says that YHVH, God breathed life into Ha'adam, the first human being. So our connection to life and to the source of life goes all the way back to that sense of the breath that was breathed into us. And I also wanted to share that in the prophets, in the prophetic writings, in Kings, the first Kings, the prophet Elijah has a lot of despair, and he goes to Mount Horeb, which is also Mount Sinai, and kind of is reached out to by God, by YHVH, by the divine. And it says that the divine is talking to Elijah, and Elijah is saying, just take me now. I really didn't didn't do the kinds of things that you wanted me to do that I should have done. He's feeling that sense of despair. And then it says that the wind was so strong that it smashed rocks, but Yud He Vav He wasn't in the wind. And then after the wind, there was a strong earthquake, but Yud He Vav He was not in the earthquake. And then there was a fire, but Yud He Vav He was not in the fire. And after the fire, there was a kol demamaka, and that gets translated either as a still small voice or a soft murmuring. But the idea is in the quieting down is when we feel that connection to the divine, to Yud He Vav He, to God. And our breath, no words, connects us both to that quiet, soft inner voice, and it also connects us back to that sense of God that, breathed life into the first human beings, that is continuing to breathe, that ground of being that keeps us all alive. And also connects us to our flaws, to our challenges, that we are created flawed. The chant I'm going to share today actually takes a little bit further and says, not only are we flawed, but since we are a part of the divine, then God must be flawed, that being flawed is part of beingness. So my intention for this breath meditation for us is to feel that connection to the oneness that's connected through our breath. And maybe we'll hear the sound of Yod He Vav He like the prophet Elijah did in the breath, in that quiet stillness. Before we do that, I was reading something this morning and was really surprised at how it fit with this. So there's a rabbi. Her name was Cheryl Lewert, and she wrote a book of blessings and praises. And this one that she wrote is called Listening. And yes, Sarah, if you want it, I will send it out via the email list. Sarah and everybody else. Okay. Listening to the song of the breath. God breathed in with a cosmic sigh. And when the Holy One breathes out, you instinctively expand and breathe in. O shared sigh, one rhythm of release. Breathe in the Shema, soft inhale of holy breath. Allow holiness to enter your heart. Breathe out Echad, which is one. One into one, union into unity, held together in a kiss of breath. Hear the call to listen and know we are all connected, bound in intimate union of breath, effortlessly linked in one shared sigh, one rhythm of release. And recognizing that as we breathe in, we are breathing in molecules of air that were created at the beginning of creation. And as we breathe out into that totality of creation, and nothing is lost. It just continues on. So we are part of that continuation, with each breath connecting us to all that ever was, all that is now, and all that will be, which is the Yud He Vav He beingness. It's exactly what that is the root of all beingness. So I invite you to get comfortable. I'll share a chant by Batya Levine, which is called We Are Good, We Are Flawed, and connecting us to the breath, to Yud He Vav He, to God, to our imperfections, and the sacredness and the divinity that is, yes, even in our imperfections, and that which we're trying to work on. And as we do the meditation, it is a Thich Nhat Hanh breath meditation. So there'll be a few sections, and each section I will give you a longer phrase for your inhale and your exhale, and then distill it down to a word or a very short set of words. If that's comfortable, you can use those words on the inhale and the exhale. But do what feels comfortable to you. Let the words fall away. Let your breath, if that is just following your breath, let that be whatever it is. Let that be okay for you. And as the mind drifts away from the breath, as it most certainly will, when you notice that you've drifted into thoughts, bring yourself back to the phrase or back to breathing in and breathing out. And I'll see you on the other side of the meditation. We are good. We are flawed. We are the breath of an imperfect God. We are good. We are flawed. We are the breath of an imperfect God. I, 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 we are good. We are flawed. We are the breath of an imperfect God. We are good. We are flawed. We are the breath of an imperfect God. I, I, we are good. We are flawed. We are the breath of an imperfect God. So if it feels comfortable to close your eyes, you can do that, letting go of the visual stimulus if they aren't already closed. And if you would prefer to keep your eyes open, softly gaze at the floor or out a window, something that won't grab too much of your attention. And as we breathe in, we notice the body. We notice the sits bones and the pressure pushing down on the seat that we're on. We notice maybe the low back against a chair, the hands with their pressure on the thighs or hands on top of one another. Settling in and becoming aware of body sensations, bringing us into the present moment more. Noticing the feet and the pressure of the feet on the ground. And we sit up nice and tall, not overextended, but just allowing the belly to breathe, feeling the dignity of the spine, feeling the head resting on the spine and relaxing over the shoulders, adjusting the body if you need to so that it's comfortable. Breathing in, noticing the chest and the belly expanding. And as you breathe out, the belly softening and the front of the chest softening. Breathing in, receiving life. Breathing out, sending out and connecting your life energy with the great creative energy of all. And simply letting the breath be, noticing your own breath rhythm. As we notice the breath in the body, letting the mind soften and relax with each breath, arriving a little bit more into the present moment, letting go of what we were thinking before we came, imagining thoughts just drifting away on clouds with each inhale and exhale, just letting them go. They will return, but seeing if we can provide a little space to be with the breath and receive it. So as you breathe in, follow the breath in your body, into the lungs, and follow it as it exhales. Breathing in from beginning to end, breathing out from beginning to end. And take a point to notice that place where the in-breath connects with the out-breath. That moment where one slides right into the other. That momentary pause that is neither in-breath or out-breath. Maybe that is that cold mamaka, that still small voice. That is the place of the small murmur. So as you breathe in, you can say internally to yourself, breathing in, I follow my breath from beginning to end. And as you breathe out, breathing out, I follow my breath from beginning to end. Letting go of the phrase and shortening it to in, out. Breathing in, I see my breath has become deeper. Breathing out, I see that my breath has become slower. Deeper, slower. Breathing in, I am aware of my body. Breathing out, I release the tension in my body. Aware, release tension. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Calm, smile. So taking a nice breath in and filling up the lungs, side to side, front to back. And exhaling, moving around in the body and opening your eyes when you're ready. I ended the meditation a little bit shorter because I wanted to share with you. So during Elul, one of the practices that we shared together was listening to the shofar. And another Elul practice is reading Psalm 27. And so we're out of Elul, we're into Tishrei, and during these Yamim Noraim, during these days of awe between Rosh Hashana and Yom Kippur, and inclusive of those two holy days, we're invited to look at Psalm 30 every day and to read it. And one of my favorite translations is, it's really an interpretation, is Norman Fisher, Opening to You. And so I thought it would read to you his Psalm 130. Norman, if you don't know him, was the abbot of the San Francisco Zen Center. He was born Jewish, became a Zen priest, had a very long friendship until Rabbi Liu, he and Alan Liu started of the meditation up in San Francisco. And I think he's returned more deeply to his Jewish practice. So he's another one of these people that blends Judaism and Buddhism very beautifully. So this is his interpretation of Psalm 130. Out of the depths I call to you. Listen to my voice. Be attentive to my supplicating voice. If you tallied errors, who would survive the count? But you forgive. You forbear everything. And this is the wonder and the dread. You are my heart's hope, my daily hope, and my ears long to hear your words. My heart awaits quiet in hope for you. More than they who watch for sunrise, hope for a new morning. Let those who question and struggle wait quiet like this for you. For with you there is a durable kindness and wholeness in abundance, and you will lose all your bindings, surely. So I want to wish all of you a continued deep reflective time, the last few days of teshuva, of doing your reflective work, of feeling close to Yah, God, divinity, seeing what continues to unfold as we look out, we look in, we look around at our relationships, and how do we want to be in this new year, and what do we want to let go of so that we can have the new year we are pointed in the most skillful way of our own being. And I honor and acknowledge and deeply appreciate all of you who are on this journey together. And so the divine in me sees the divine in you. And in Hebrew, I've taken that to be B'Tselem Yah, which is you are made in the image of Yah, in the divine. So B'Tselem Yah.